Well, here we go. So, a couple of contenders who could have easily have took this one. The only Super League coach to have won all three games in July is Ian Watson of Huddersfield Giants. He was in contention. Lachlan Lamb, obviously, also in contention. He was
not his
a couple
dad?
of months back now. A couple of months back, I think, Lachlan Lamb. Sorry, Adrian Lamb. Yeah, a couple of months back, Adrian Lamb got it. But actually, no, the one we're going for here at Super League Raw for the month of July is this man, Willie Peters. And the reason we're going Willie Peters is it's fair to say that Hull KR coming up to the end of June, we're on the slide. Loads of injury problems, really mounting up against them. And fair play to Willie Peters. I think the signing of Schneider has been a masterstroke, an absolute masterstroke, and it's lifted the Robins to the point where, of course, they're going to be competing against the Lee Leopards in the Challenge Cup final. But as we saw against Leeds in Golden Point, when they beat Leeds, they were quality, and we'll see that in a minute in terms of the Castleford game, quality against Castleford. So in the spirit of sharing, Willie Peters, who I think has done a great job all season, to be fair, but because of, keeping things on track, great signing in Schneider, keeping things together, great performance against Leeds, obviously going to the Challenge Cup final. We thought we'd give it to Willie this month.
Yeah, I think we could give a token one to Applegarth. Welcome me at
absolutely.
Wakefield. The job absolutely. He's done there recently. I think he deserves a nomination just as a shout out, definitely.
Spot on, mate. 4 wins from 6, that's playoff form. Who'd have thought that? And who would have thought that? I put on, after the Warrington game on Sunday, just one line, one team on the up, the other on the way down. How that statement has changed since round number 8. But you wouldn't have Adam and Eve it after 8 rounds that actually we would be talking about those two teams the other way around. But there you go. Right. Announced on the official Super League Facebook page all over is the 6 nominees for Player of July. These are the 6 that they have picked. Chris McQueen, Brad Schneider, Adam Swift, Jack Welsby, Michael McAlorum, and Tom Monet. Now then, let's get a little bit of a game going here, Steph. In a moment, we're going to announce the Super League Raw Team of July. And I'm going to tell you now, only 4 of those 6 nominees have found it into our Team of July. The question I pose to you, who are the 2 that we haven't picked, would you say?
It's always a difficult one, this, because obviously I'm only seeing the games that Lee play, apart from the try highlights, really, or the Super League highlights. Amone for us has been absolutely class, and I know there's bits we're going to come on to with him in a bit. So I think he would definitely be in. Welsby's been phenomenal, as he always is. McQueen, I think, has been on form in the last few weeks from the games I've seen him play. Yeah. And Snyder's obviously done what he's done for OKR since to come in. So Swift's been playing really well and scoring tries. So it's really difficult. I think the only one that I'm a bit struggling on is McLaurin. So I'd say McLaurin's the one that's nailed on for me that's not.
Who's the... Okay, and who are you going to go for the other one?
Swift.
You're going to go Swifty. Right, okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, here it comes, the Super League Raw Team of July. There it is, the Super League Raw Team for July. Didn't quite get the Swifty one right, mate, but hey, here we go. Let's go through these from top to bottom. Jack Welsby first. 2 tries in the month of July, 3 assists, 16 tackle busts, 3 clean breaks, 8 offloads, 52 carries for 302 metres, an average of 5.8 per carry for Jack. No real surprises by the sounds of what you said a few moments ago for you there, Steph.
Yeah, no, I think he's been outstanding recently, and he's one of those players that we've got in Super League where we can genuinely say we've got a world-class talent, I think.
Absolutely, mate. Couldn't agree with you more. Then on the first wing, well, he doesn't miss, does he? Does Abbas Miski. 3 tries, 3 assists, 8 tackle busts, 1 clean break, 43 carries for 444 metres, 10.3 average. Outstanding from Abbas Miski. This Lebanese international for me. He might not have started the season where people would think he would be a starter for Wigan, but you can't budge this guy now. Incredible.
Yeah, no, he was great. I mean, most people will have tuned into Channel 4 and watched that game just because it's on terrestrial TV over the weekend. And as disappointing as Lee were, Miski was one of the outstanding performers for me in that game. I thought he was fantastic.
Spot on. Another man heading to Wigan next season. Hey, who'd have thought salary cap? But anyway, there's another story. Adam Kieran, who's been, again, one of the, probably for me, if he carries on the way he is, will go down potentially. And if he stays for 3 or 4 years, as one of the best imports ever, I would say. 2 tries, 2 assists, 7 tackles, 1 clean break, 7. Let's have a quick look at that. Yeah, 7 from 9 goals, 33 carries, 260 metres, an average of 7.8. Kieran, I've been nothing but impressed by this guy this season. Incredible.
Yeah, he's been outstanding, and we've been lucky enough to go over and watch Catalan v Lee twice this year already, and he's one of the best in the business at the moment. He reminds me a bit of Jamie Lyon, the way he plays. I wouldn't say he's as good as Jamie Lyon, but I think he's getting up there, and signing for a team like Wigan, he could soon be getting that kind of reputation, I think.
Spot on, mate. Spot on. Just because I remember last time I did this, there was a few people putting other names in the chat. Shout outs for fullback. Jake Connor has had a stellar July for Huddersfield, and Jay Field, Wigan, also very good. In terms of, well, we'll do the wingers and the centres in a minute. The second centre there, Tom Opachik, another player who I think has really graced Super League this year. 2 tries, 1 assist, 8 tackle busts, 2 clean breaks, 31 carries, 296 metres, 9.5 average for Tom Opachik. And I think he's a big reason why, KR have done so well in the Challenge Cup and potentially going to now stick in that top 6.
Yeah, definitely. He's been another one. He's Australian as well, isn't he, Opachik? I think. Yeah, he's right. Another classic Australian centre that's come over and just gracing Super League at the moment. And fair play to the recruitment team at OKR for bringing him over. He's definitely been one of the outstanding centres in Super League this year.
Spot on, my friend. Then on the other wing, the man that you thought wasn't there, but let me tell you right now, Mr. Sale, Adam Swift. What a July Adam Swift has had for the Black and Whites. 5 tries, 13 tackle busts, 3 clean breaks, 43 carries for 445 metres, an average of 10.3 a carry. Mr. Swift scored in every one of the July appearances for the Black and Whites, and some very easy on the eye tries as well.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think a few episodes ago, you teased me a little bit when you said, would I have Swift at Lee? And I said I would, and then you announced he was going to Huddersfield. So I kind of fell on my sword on that one. That's why he wasn't getting in. No, I think he's going to be a fantastic...
I was going to be had Joel on, wasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it was. But no, I think he's going to be a fantastic signing for Huddersfield. I've been so impressed with. He had a cracking game at OKR as well. He played OKR in that game, so no, he fully deserves it. And I think the one I've got wrong there is Schneider, isn't it? And I think that can only come down to he's not played.
Yeah,
he's only played a couple of games. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, good spot there. Actually, it was 3, not 2. Yes. Well, we'll come to him in a moment. But before we do, shout outs for wingers. Jermaine McGilvery has had a solid July for Huddersfield. Tom Johnson, Catalan, Liam Marshall at Wigan, and a big shout out for young Elliot Wallace at Castleford. Even though they have been in absolute dire straits, Castleford, Mr. Wallace has had a really good July. In the centres, unlucky for Kevin Nagama, Toby King and Sean Kenny-Dowell. Those 3 were also in contention. Right, to the stand-up position. This was very, very straightforward. Don't get me wrong, Jake Truman and Johnny Lomax have had decent Julys, but they do not compare to Bevan French. 4 tries, 4 assists, 9 tackle busts, 1 clean break, 55 tackles, 34 carries, 235 metres, an average of 6.9 per carry. Bevan French, as Jack Wellsby, box office.
You can't say more than that, Dave. I think when you're talking about world-class players, he is, and to our detriment at the weekend, we got to see that to full effect because he was outstanding against us.
He played well at your place as well, as I recall, when he played in the first part of the Borough.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he did. Right, scrum half. This might surprise many, this one, Steph. Brad Schneider, absolutely brilliant since coming in at OKR. Your man, Lachlan Lamb, had another good July. There's no doubt about it. But Toy Lolohea, this guy was, looked out of shape early in the season, wasn't playing very well. He has had a brilliant, brilliant July. 3 tries, 3 assists, 17 tackle busts, 2 clean breaks, 41 tackles, 61 carries for 261 metres. The man has been absolutely superb in July. So, and a big reason why Huddersfield have had the 3 wins from 3.
Absolutely. No, he's been good. How many of those has he played at scrum half? Sorry, though. Has he played any of those at fullback?
Who's that? No, all 3 were all three were in the halves in July. Yeah. Somebody's asking about Schneider. Yeah, Schneider obviously has played 3 out of the 4 games in July because, of course, of the Challenge Cup. He did miss the first one in July, which remind myself who that one was. It would have been Hull FC. So he missed the Hull FC game, did Brad Schneider. But yes, Schneider was good in the 3 games that he has played. Right. Your man, number 8, absolute shoe in this one. Tom Amone, here's one for you. He is the only man to feature in every team of the month on Super League Raw this year. That's how good and consistent this guy has been. 2 tries, 2 assists, 14 tackle busts, 2 clean breaks, 75 tackles, 6 offloads, 47 carries, 423 metres, 9 metre average. This man is 5th highest metre maker in Super League. 5th highest in Super League, including all the backs. 2nd hard meter maker just behind Paul Vaughan. This guy, what a player. What a player.
He's been unbelievable for us. And I think when you look at players who've gone under the radar in Super League, who no one saw coming, I think he's got to be right up there with them. He's a bit of an unsung hero. He does all the tough stuff for us. And when you look at where they've been successful, it's on the back of quick play the balls, getting Pappy going. And a lot of that has come through Tom Amone, Mulhern as well. But, Amone has been unbelievable.
Spot on, mate. Couldn't agree with you more. This one might surprise. Liam Hood has been absolutely key to the Wakefield wins in July. He's been in great form. A try, 2 assists, 69 tackles, 14 dummy runs, 16 carries, 109 metres, 6.8 average. Shout outs in the hooking department to Jez Litton and Michael McAloran. Both of those 2 have had decent Julys, but I think Liam Hood has been absolute critical, actually, to Wakefield and their rise as well. He was all over Warrington at the weekend, also played well a couple of rounds back as well when they played the Wigan Warriors. So, fair play to Liam Hood. That one probably takes you a bit by surprise.
No? I don't know, because they've been so good the last few weeks, with all the stuff that they're doing. And we know Liam Hood really well as Lee fans. He's been at Lee, on 2 occasions. I think he's played for Lee. We know the player he is, but I think he's been absolutely, instrumental in Wakefield's revival, basically.
Not a problem at all. Happy days. Right, we then come into the second prop forward, and this again will probably surprise Warrington in terrible form. However, doesn't matter if a team is winning or losing. It matters about the way we look at this is who is playing best in their position. That's what we look at over a course of 3 games. And one of the very few consistent and shining lights for Warrington in July has been, yet again, Paul Vaughan. He really has been consistent throughout. Not as good as Amone, but the other 2 that were in contention, David Fafita, Patrick Mago, they were the other 2 that were in contention for this one. But Vaughan, hands down, took it. Solid running yet again, doing massive minutes as well, Paul Vaughan, for Warrington. 1 try, 12 tackle breaks, 1 clean break, 99 tackles, 2 offloads, 50 carries, 375 metres for 7.5 average. Incredible stuff. Again, very consistent.
Yeah, he's been. I mean, if you're looking for a shining light in Warrington's team, I think he's the one, isn't he, at the moment? I think I said to you earlier in the season, I think he could be the best prop we've ever imported from the NRL. The way he was playing. Hopefully, now with what's happened at Warrington, you can kickstart on a bit, and we'll start to see him really shine in the next few months as well.
Spot on, mate. Absolutely spot on. Right, we then come into the second row and Mr. Consistent, yet again, Liam Farrell. He's in there. Shout outs in this position. Matty Ashurst has been good for Wakefield. James Bell at St. Helens also has played well for St. Helens. But Liam Farrell and Chris McQueen take it. Farrell, 1 try, 89 tackles, 7 tackle bust, 1 offload, 43 carries, 341 metres and 7.9 average. Chris McQueen, right back at it for Huddersfield. 4 tries, 14 tackle breaks, 4 clean breaks, 75 tackles, 2 offloads, 20 carries for 9.5 average per carry. The old guard have come up trumps in July.
Absolutely. I mean, two great second rowers there. We saw Liam at the weekend. I think he's always an 8 out of 10 player minimum for Wigan. He's always great. And I think you look at Huddersfield within the last 3, that's no coincidence that McQueen started playing well, because he was their best player last year for me. So great to see him coming back into a bit of form now as well.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. And then finally, again, your man. A lot of controversy, of course, has been around this guy. I think unfairly, but a lot of controversy around John Asiata in the month of July. But there's no arguing what he's done on the field of play. 3 more assists for Asiata, 8 tackle breaks, 1 clean break, 100 tackles, 6 offloads, 73 carries, 349 metres. The man has, well, like a Monet, consistent and solid all year.
Yeah, absolutely. He's our captain, fantastic, and I think all the Lee fans were a big show of defiance to everybody at the weekend on the 13th minute, applauding him at the Wigan game just to show we stood by him, because I think the way he's been treated in the media for a tackle that is not illegal, I think it was just disgraceful. And then you've got pundits like Wilkin and whatever, starting it all, and then saying that people shouldn't comment on social media about him when he's done that himself. It's just absolutely disgusting, to be honest with you. Some of the things we've seen, you couldn't meet a nicer bloke than John Asiata. He's a family man. He doesn't drink. He's a God-fearing bloke, and he plays rugby hard, but he plays it fair. And I think the way he's been treated in the media, who are just looking for a story, has been absolutely disgraceful. And then I think you said in the Sheds, they had the perfect opportunity to challenge Wellens on it, with the James Bell tackle, who was exactly the same, if not worse, and they didn't take that opportunity. And I think that's probably one of the most disappointing things this season from a Lee fan's perspective, that didn't get challenged and they didn't show a bit of integrity to do that.
Well, I mean, the fact as well that we got to comment, I mean, I was, as we do, don't we? We fire. I think you're included this weekend, where myself and Greg are constantly texting through games. I think I was texting you during the course of that game when it was being played, and I called it straight away. I think the text went out to yourself and Greg when I seen it. It took nobody in commentary mentioned it for Sky. Sky picked it up at halftime, to the credit, and started having a chat about it. But, a massive opportunity, huge opportunity. Wellens went big, and do you know what? I don't mind that. I think, if you're Paul Wellens, you've lost 4 players. I thought the one on Wormsley, it was clumsy. Nothing illegal about it. That didn't look good on the eye, I have to say. But the one against Parsi, which was in terms of damage, was the most damage. This is Challenge Cup Rugby League. You don't make that challenge, Parsi's going in. There's no doubt about it. Your body's on the line. Asiata was as much at risk as Parsi was, and unfortunately for Parsi, there was a player on the other side, and I think it's the fact that there's been a collision either side. Yes, Asiata was low, but he was still above the knee. I think the whole thing, unfortunately, it's a freak accident, that one, albeit Asiata's put his body on the line. And I'm sorry, as a rugby league professional and anybody who's watching this, if you're minutes away from a Challenge Cup final and you've got to put your body on the line to keep your team there, there's not a single rugby league player worth the salt that doesn't do what John Asiata does.
No, I think that there's 2 points on it. Is that he goes in, his tackling technique is horrendous. The way he's got in, he's put himself at risk. He's challenged on the wrong shoulder, so therefore he's put his head in front of the player's knee. So he's put himself at risk of HIH straight away. And you're talking a split-second decision to do that tackle What John Asiata's not appreciated is that Holmes is coming on the other side, which then forces the injury. If Holmes doesn't come in, that injury doesn't happen.
Correct.
It's not because I think it's because they both hit each other from opposite sides.
Yeah.
And how are you as a rugby player meant to make that decision in that second? And the key questions for me from the rugby league is, and to Wellens as well, is what is it that you want to change about the tackle? What rule are you going to put in? Is it that where can you tackle on the? He said you can't tackle someone's knees. So where is it you go with it? You know,
yeah, there's nothing you can do.
No, it's not like the standing tackle when someone's stood there and then cannonballs them and he's stationary and cannonballs them. That's different. So how are you going to do it in a split-second game where you've got blokes running at each other full pelt? You can't do it. And I'd like to see what Paul Wellens' proposal is that he wants changing in terms of the tackle. And that's the key question. And then let's have a debate about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, we can sanitize the sport as much as to the point where people don't go and watch it. I mean, for as long as rugby league has been being played, accidents, injuries happen. Accidents and injuries happen. It's part and parcel of the sport. It's unfortunate. I mean, would Wellens have come out with the same gusto had that have happened over a 3-game series? Possibly not. I think the fact that it all happened in one game, unfortunately, it was Asiata every game. But I think it was just Asiata he wanted to get his team to Wembley. They're all legal, to the letter of the law. They're all legal challenges, and we'll just leave that one there. But I think
just one more point, Dave, on it before we move on. The most disappointing thing for me was that Wellens cited 4 players, that were injured. Yeah. One of which was Morgan Knowles, who said was 50-50, and then went on to have his best game of the season the game afterwards. So don't use crap excuses like that when you've got 2 genuine injuries there. Don't add more on to make it more of your point. That just makes it devalued for me.
Yeah, mate, you're absolutely spot on. We and actually, in terms of the loose forward positions for that team, Morgan Knowles is on the shortlist. Morgan Knowles has had a really, really good July, as Cam Smith once again for Leeds. And you're spot on. I think arguably Morgan Knowles had his best game of the season against Leeds. I think the fact that so many forwards were out, he put his hand up and he put in a right shift. So you're well over. He was well over.
Did he do that 50-50?
Well, exactly. I mean, Morgan Knowles normally averages between 70 and 80 meters a game. I think he was over 120 in that match. So, in terms of meters, he was still solid in defence. He's always good for high 30s, early 40 tackle count in a game. So his defending side of the game has always been pretty robust, Morgan Knowles. But in terms of ball in hand, that was his best performance with ball in hand all season by a country mile. Great stuff, Seth. Something tells me that you've been waiting to get that one off your chest, sir. just a little bit. Anyway, let's now, before we go and take a look at the top performance of round number 20, needless to say, our player of the month of July is one of those 13. So over to you, the Fans Forum. We'll announce the player of the month of July later in the show. That's your shortlist. There's the 13. One of those will be given the player of the month for July. We'll come back to it later. Get in the chat. Which of those 13 would you be giving player of the month to for the month of July? I said to the forum, who out of those 13 players would you have as your player of the month of July? There was a few that came into the chat. John Asiata was mentioned in the chat. Tom and Monet. Anybody else wants to quickly go in and say who they would have as their player of the month of July from this 13? Crack on. And whilst you're putting them in, if you are going to put them in the chat, if it was you, Steph, who would you pick?
It's between Wellesby and French, but I'm going to say Wellesby.
So you've gone Wellesby, Jack Wellesby. Don't get me wrong, Wellesby has been absolutely superb, as of Bevan French, and both would be worthy winners. But as you know, here at Super League Raw, we call it straight. We call it absolutely straight. This isn't about glamour. This isn't about, the show ponies. This is about who has been the most consistent player in the month of July. That's it. The most consistent player. And our player of the month, he's not just been the most consistent player of July. Actually, he's probably arguably been the most consistent player of the season. He's been in every single Super League Raw team of the month. This is his 3rd week on the spin. He's in team of the week. It is Tom Amone of the Lee Leopards. It had to be. It couldn't be anybody else. His statistics in the month of July, as they have been all season, have been incredible. He also played well in the Challenge Cup, of course. He's played 4 games and won 3, counting the Challenge Cup. Played a pivotal role in that as well. But this guy, this season, we only look at it from a Super League perspective. If we have a tiebreaker, we might take the cup into consideration. But this is long overdue. Absolutely sensational. Sensational. If you remember, in June, it was Rob Mulhern. So this is 2 months running now that the front line of the Lee Leopards have took this award. And for me personally, it's fully deserving. These players don't get, and you said it, Steph, they don't get the accolades that they deserve. Forwards lay the platform. Forwards do the hard work. So the show ponies like the Wellesbys, the Frenchies, all of these kind of guys can have the space to do their thing, which of course is great entertainment and great on the eye. What we do at Super League Raw, we look at it from a pound for pound perspective. We take everything into consideration. We look at consistency. Jack Wellesby has had a good month, but he hasn't had 3 consistent games. 2 out of 3, brilliant. 1, not as good. This man, all 3, there's very little between his stats. He's turned up every week. We back it. We stand by it. Your man, Mr. Ramone, player of the month, Mr. Sale.
Well, you know, it's one of those where you don't want to pick players from your team, and but what I can say for Tom is he's like a bit for you with Vaughan. He's been absolutely outstanding. You know, even last year in the championship, he would be in the championship, but you know, we all knew the player he was. And we kind of were a bit excited to see what other people thought of him when he came into Super League. It's amazing that he's been able to, you know, and you're talking a tough position here to come into Super League. It's a big step up, and he's absolutely bossed it. And the reason why Lachlan Lamb and the Lee backs have been able to score so many tries, with Pappy's been able to attack, is because Tom and Mulhern have set the platform for them. You've got to get those quick play the balls, and they've done. I mean, the hard meter stats, which I know you're big on, are just unbelievable. I think he's comparable with a lot of backs in terms of the meters.
He's 5th, mate. Yeah. Overall, you know, taking everybody in the league. Now, when you consider how much, you know, the likes of Johnston, who I think is leading, Charlie 2nd. You know, you expect wingers, you expect the backs to be all over the highest meter makers. And in the top 5 is Paul Vaughan and Tom Amone. Tom Amone is only behind Paul Vaughan in hard meter making this season. He's 5th overall in Super League. He has carried the ball for 2,439 meters this season. Incredible, from 288 carries, averaging 8.5 meters a carry. That's destructive. That isn't length of the field tries. That's down the middle, grind, meters after contact. That's true. I mean, it's gladiatorial. That's what it is. That's where the game's at. It's absolutely incredible. His tackle breaks this season. Let's have a quick look here now. 44 tackle breaks this season. He's had 3 clean breaks, 10 offloads in the season. But it's not just that. He's tackling. So not only is he carrying the ball, an average of 8.5 meters a carry, right? But he's tackled 515 times this season on top of that as a prop forward. I mean, that is just unbelievable. By any, I mean, that's Walmsley territory. That's ridiculous.
It's phenomenal stats, and you're talking about someone who's doing it with the tough lads here. You know, they're bashing it up the middle, kicking 10 bells out of each other. To have those kind of statistics is just unbelievable. And I think a lot of the Lee fans have been talking about getting Lamb signed up, getting Asiata signed up. For me, this lad's number 1. You know, he's you know, they're so rare to get a forward who can do this. And you are talking in your Paul Vaughan territory here. I'd be amazed if clubs like Wigan, you're into like your Dupree paying 170,000 or whatever it was to Wigan. What's this lad worth?
Well,
you know,
well,
so
you're spot on. And he's only 26. And when you think prop forwards, you look at the prop forwards that have graced Super League over the years, you know, they've always been over 30. You know, Morley was over, you know, in and around his 30s. Walmsley, Jamie Peacock, Paul Vaughan, you know, these type of players who have been right at it, you know, throughout Super League. When you consider their age when they've been at it, props mature around about that 29, 30, 31, 32 mark. That seems to be where the numbers really kick in and they're away. This kid is 26.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the next 5 years, next 6 or 7 years. What can this lad do? Incredible.
Absolutely. I think we should just stop talking about him, Dave, to be honest with you.
Well, this is why he's going to be dropped, mate. This is why he'll not drop rested. Yeah. This is why he's not going to be playing on Sunday, because he can't. This guy, if you're going to win the Challenge Cup, this man's pivotal. Asiata's pivotal. Lachlan Lam is pivotal. And you need Pappy in the team doing what Pappy does. But yeah, this guy, incredible. So congratulations yet again. You know, absolutely deserving. Tom Amone, the Super League Raw Player of the Month for July. Right.